We're live. Let's check out the audio. Hello. There you go. Hello, people. How are you doing? Mugamba Mchia, how is life? Come on, let's have a chat. It's a bit late, but for those of us that are still awake at this point in time, please come on. Let's have a conversation. This is a very pertinent conversation that I want us to have. Please come on in. Come on in. Let's have a chat. Nancy Usinyati. So she's a chizigo. Going to give like 5 minutes for us to start this conversation. As you can read by the caption, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. We're talking everything, man. We need to really examine ourselves and find out whether actually the women we call the love of our lives and the mother of our kids actually want us, or they're actually just doing us a favor. Let's have this conversation. This is I believe it's a conversation that it's not the first time it's being had, but it's a conversation that needs a little bit of more attention so that people get to really understand the essence of how women see things versus how men see things, especially when it comes to the context of relationships. If you ask me, I seem to kind of like understand it because maybe out of experience I've come to learn that there's a way women perceive things in a relationship versus the way men perceive things in a relationship. And to kickstart this conversation, I'll have to start right away and tell you, brother out there who thinks that if a woman tells you they love you and you buy that idea, actually, you're doing yourself a disservice out there. And it will be on you when it ends up in tears. Our women, like they say, if you don't have anything to offer as a man, there's nothing a woman wants from you. Even if you have nothing to offer like money, clearly there is something you have to offer in regard. I was speaking to a friend of mine some time back and he said that if you do not have money to offer to a woman, at least you have to be able to offer something that comes in terms of emotional support, psychological support, or better still, you have to be good at sex. That's what he said. I promise you, I'm not even lying. And this was a very old man who's been in marriage for about close to 24 years right now. But that's what he said when it comes to dealing with women. There is no way a woman is going to stay with you if you have nothing to offer. Let me give you an example. It's always been said, women date upwards, men date downwards. Let me explain that concept. A man will find a woman who literally has nothing, has like nothing, and I mean nothing. Pick them from wherever they are, elevate them with the mindset of this is my person. I'm seeing a perspective or a future prospects, and let me work on them and see that they get to a certain point in life so that they are better. That is to say that men actually fall in love, but women get into a situation with a calculation of what do I get out of this relationship. That's relationship or situationship, whatever it is. So women come with a target, but men come more with the aspect of empathy. It's easy for a man to put himself in the shoes of a woman who has ambitions to go to school but does not have school fees to pay. That's why it's easy for men to, you've heard stories of men taking girls to school, the women they love, taking them to school, and then later on they end up, these women reach a point and they don't need this man anymore. You know why? It's because when women reach a certain point, they date upwards. When they found you at point A, the best you can do for yourself to really keep up with that woman is to keep on elevating yourself. Elevating yourself, because every time a woman is at a stage, she looks beyond that particular stage. That's why you see that that um, men that fall deeply in love with women, and they're all covered up in this love theory. Most of the time, many of them get caught up in the idea that they are in love and forget to elevate themselves. And then women actually get in these situations of love, but do not forget to elevate themselves. That's why it's common for women to actually have women groups, discussion groups, or women empowerment groups, and they will diligently attend these groups because they want to level up. It's not the case with men, actually. On the other hand, if you ask me, very many men, that's why you see they are not very they are not very diligent when it comes to body checkups. Their health, meanwhile, they're not diligent when it comes to their health. They're not diligent when it comes to giving them self-love. They're not diligent when it comes to generally taking care of themselves. By the time a man begins to take care of themselves, it's either they have had a health scare, or they have been told by a doctor, but like, yo, bro, you need to tone down on whatever it is that you're doing so that you stay fit. That's the only instance that a man will actually begin to begin to look at the brighter side of himself, trying to self-care and stuff like that. It's rather different with women. Women understand. That's why it's actually women that work so hard to ensure, especially, let me give you an example. Like, for example, in Uganda here, majority of the biggest clients when it comes to women, that when it comes to these sex therapists, male or female, it's actually the biggest clients are women. You know why? Because women understand what it means to add value to themselves. When they notice that something is not right and they want to fix it and needs to be fixed, they will definitely go and find a solution for it. Meanwhile, for us men, we will keep procrastinating until something gets out of hand. That is when we begin to think about, oh, let me try to go and get this. That's why you see, let me go and get this medical care. Let me go and get this medical attention. Let me go to the gym. Stuff like that. Men usually wake up extremely late when things are very, 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 very bad. That's when they wake up to think about, fixing themselves, which is different with women. The more a woman keeps leveling up herself, the more she begins to not need you. If you're not leveling up. All right. Now, let me let me give you the origin of this conversation. By now, I believe all of us understand that Shamim Malende, who's a member of parliament in Uganda, just a few days ago broke up with her boyfriend. A man they've known each other for quite a bit of time. And now, this man actually went into the relationship with love. You see how foolish that is? When he went into a relationship with the concept of, oh, I love this woman, he forgot about himself. He forgot about himself and focused on building entirely for the woman. Meanwhile, in the relationship, it's the woman that had more money, it's the woman that had more connections, it's the woman that had the clout, it's the woman that had the attention. He was more like what you would call a bagman, or in the terms of football, a ball boy, or a wingman, a man that whenever she went, he went. When she went to parliament, he had to go. Wherever he went, he had to go. Whenever she went, he moved. Wherever she went, he moved. So it felt like as if she had tied a leash on him. But in essence, it meant that this man had nothing going on. That's the problem. Women notice that when women fall for us, and they notice that these men actually have nothing going on, they set a time limit in their mind. They may not even tell you. They set a time limit in their mind, just to give you a benefit of that, of whether or not you're going to level up in one way or another. Or if you actually fail to level up, they're just going to run away from you. And that's exactly what happened with this gentleman. So, stupid as he is, he took to social media after Shamim Malende came out to accuse him of, confiscating her property and stuff like that, taking away her social media handles. And now he came out on social media and said that everything that Shamim Malenda actually owns at this point in time and gave him the authority to take care of, he gave to her, and for him he's left with nothing. That's how stupid this man is. The lady left the house and swept it empty. She only left a cup. She didn't even leave curtains. She didn't leave a carpet. She didn't leave a single thing. Do you know what that means? That means that everything that was in that house belonged to that particular woman. Everything that was in that house belonged to that woman. You know, that's why they say women actually do not respect men that are broke. Women do not respect men that are broke. If you're broke and you think that your wife who tells you for better, for worse, oh, I love you as you are, loves you for real, bro, you need to check yourself. Actually, you need to slap yourself. Slap yourself after that slap. But if you're watching and you're one of them, please slap that head. Slap that head. Slap that sense into that head and get to fix yourself. You need to, as a man, we are naturally supposed to be leaders. Even if a woman has something to herself, you sort of like, of course, we survive on ego, but even if a woman has something for herself, you sort of like have to, you know, hey, Elsa, how are you? Thanks for saying hi. So even if a woman has something on her side, it's your duty as a man to level up in one way or another. It doesn't have to be entirely financial, but there's a certain level of leadership that you have to put in place to ensure that she looks at you as somebody that is just not about nothing. You understand? Women, look, many of us, I came to understand this. There's a time I used to ask her, I had a girlfriend. I asked why she actually dated older people, older men. And she said, you know what? The beauty about dating an old man is that you sort of like see a father figure in him compared to what you see with the young boys. Because when you date a young boy, you're almost on the same level with the young boy. So it's easy for you to have fights with them, but also the element of leadership is null and void. Like it's not there. It's not there. You know, so going back to the question, do women really love us or they're just doing us a favor? I start by saying that women don't love us, but women actually stick with us for that which we can offer. It doesn't have to be financial. Let's first talk about the financial bit, because today many men think that to be a man in a relationship or to be that one guy that is the man in the relationship, you have to have a lot of money. No. Being a man means leadership. That's one. Being a man means authority. Being a man means exercising your masculinity the right way. Being a man basically revolves around people looking at you as a decision maker and a leader in the home. Now, once you score on that, and that is to say you have to earn it, because many men think that, oh, because I'm a man in the home, I have a big voice, I put on suits, I have this job, my wife should respect me. No, you ought to earn the respect from your wife, and the respect is earned out of how you present yourself to a wife, what you do for that woman to see that element of leadership. Many of us get into actually social media, I believe, has spoiled the concept of what masculinity used to be back in the day. Today we have a lot of men who are just comedians in their relationship. They're playing with their wives. Everything is all over social media. They're playing hide and seek. It's not bad to play, but the marriage or dating circles lately have just become sort of like a comedy kind of a boiling pot of comedy. You have to play with your wife, you have to, and it all comes from the concept of you have to be friends with your wife. And trust me, believe me, the moment you introduce this kind of concept in your relationship and you don't tame it or have a direction of how things should go, that is, you should have boundaries and stuff like that, that woman is going to slowly lose respect for you. The moment a guy comes that means business, understands when to and when not to play around, when to and when not to mean business, she's definitely going to leave you alone. You know why? Because the other man offers an element of leadership and security. Now, that's the most important thing. A woman needs to feel secure around you. It goes back to what I was saying, What do you have to offer? If you have nothing to offer to a woman, please, she doesn't want you. These women do not want us. They're simply doing us a favor. But at what cost? What do you have to offer for me to do you this favor? We've seen these things. We've seen these things. All right, if you think I'm lying, another story I just came across on TikTok here. A Nigerian couple that is currently living, I think, in America or the UK. A man, when he got this beautiful wife of his, he was doing well. He had money. Basically, was stable enough. But then over time, he got 2 operations on his knees, and then he had a spinal cord injury, and then he says that he has and the man says that he has how did he term it? His blood pressure is unpredictable, meaning it can't be diagnosed, so he had to stay home. This means that if he stays home, his wife will have to take care of him and cook for him, and take care of his bills and cook for him good food. Then he came and took to social media. And this is what he said. I want you guys to please stay with me, and I want you guys to listen to me and feel free to share your thoughts. Please stay with me.
Man, check out the time.
Yeah.
You see the time now. Other men are at work, but I am at home.
I want you to listen and then
doing nothing.
Let's get back to this.
When other men are at work, making money to feed their families, I am at home doing nothing. Let me tell you why. Because guys, I have spinal cord injury. My knees, both knees, have been operated. Man, my blood pressure is always high. Do you understand me? I have therapy-resistant hypertrophy.
Stay with me and share your thoughts.
My kind of high blood pressure, you cannot treat it. Do you understand what I mean? And this is why I am staying at home. I dropped a video. I told you guys that my wife is the person that feeds me. Man, you do not know what I have been going through. Man, it is only when she likes that she gives me food. If we quarrel or have misunderstanding, she doesn't give me food. There are days I go without eating anything, like 2 days without eating anything, especially if we quarrel. She wake up in the morning, she will not go to the kitchen to prepare anything. She will lie on her bed watching African movies. If I talk to her, she shouts back at me. Said, after all, I am not bringing anything to the table. I'm not bringing food home.
Have you understood? Let's first stop at that point where I said the woman says, after all, he's not bringing anything to the table. It goes back to what I was saying. Women don't love us. They're just doing us a favor. But at what cost? What are you bringing onto the table?
A lazy man. You understand me? Now, these women that you see abroad here, many of them, I'm not saying all, many of them are financial women. Now, even it is only very few women that truly shows love to their husband when the man is poor or broke. Majority of the women don't have real love for their husband. They love the money you've got. When you've got money, they show you love. If you have no money, they don't show you love. You see, my woman now, she has prepared. She wants to move. This woman, she has prepared. If she goes out now, you understand me? She comes in at night and no food for me. I've not eaten. See my stomach. I've not eaten since morning. You understand me? Since morning, no breakfast for me. If you talk to her, she said, after all, how much did you bring? Did you bring any money? The next thing is, I'm the person that is feeding you. Do you understand what I mean? You understand? Now, what are you talking about? Don't interrupt my video.
Let you know they complain about me. I cannot carry everything.
See, this is my business. Don't interrupt my video. What are you interrupting my video?
So make I come stay at home with you, make I don't go outside again.
Where are you going?
I need to go and meet my friend and I need to go and meet.
See. The woman is going outside without telling me where she goes. You understand me? Respect lost, no respect. She wakes up in the morning.
I beg, leave me alone. I'm trying my best.
Where are you going?
I cannot keep.
How can you wake up in the morning and say you're going somewhere? You understand me? Without telling me where you're going.
You make I stay inside in the house with you every day. No, I cannot go.
But at least, where are you going? Tell me where you are going. You see, because I have no money with me.
You see, it's a big lie when a woman tells you for better, for worse. Unless a very few, but even the few women that actually out there will tell you for better, for worse, and they'll stick to their word, naturally, they'll complain in one way or another. This gentleman here is saying that his wife leaves his home without even telling him where she's going. And then she tells him, must she stay in the house with him the whole day? You know what that means? That means that the moment you cease to provide as a man in your home, you suddenly become ugly, you suddenly become irritating, you suddenly become unbearable. This is what this brother is going through. You understand? Women only love us when we have something, or they need us when we have something to offer. This gentleman clearly has a critical health conditions, that is to say. But his wife is actually saying that he is being lazy. She's complaining all the time instead of going to get something to do. You know, she says a man should leave his home and go and work. And then the guy says, but when I was fine, I took care of you. I gave you everything when I had money. The woman said, that was before, not now. Things have changed. She has assured him that, bro, that's old school, brother. Please, you got to wake up and smell the coffee. That shit has changed. Times have changed. Times have changed. And you see, many of you guys don't want to come to terms with this, especially the gentlemen that fall head over heel in love and forget, to self-develop themselves. Now, this gentleman, I would love to think that probably the reason as to why he's complaining like this, it's a result of poor planning, maybe. Because now had he planned and understood the concept of my woman loves me for what I bring on the table, he would have leveled up and prepared for times like this. Because times like this, when you're actually in dire conditions like this, is when you decide to drive away from home. Find your peace in a country home where you've planned so well for, sort of like a heaven for you to find peace. Or drive away, eat food outside, go meet some friends. Because now this also shows that this man actually does not have a great pool of friends to confide with, and talk about things. I believe that for men, for us to level up and not end up like this gentleman, we first of all need to invest in useful friends. Our social capital has to be extremely, extremely solid, because not very many times our women come through for us. Because even in marriages, this is evident that despite the fact that you've spent more years and years with these women, sometimes even getting you out of a deep shit might be hard. And people that actually come to take care of you or help you are actually friends. Very few women will come through for you, actually. And that's why it's important for us to level up as men, because our women actually don't love us the way we think. They love that which you bring on the table, except for a few. I'm telling you guys, you need to level up to the extent that you're self-sufficient. It's not bad to fall in love, but do not forget yourself. I'm telling you, because nobody loves you. There's a common saying, children, dogs, and women are the only people that are genuinely loved. I've seen people that actually die, men that die miserably, whereby the kids, the wives turn against them like they never knew them. There's a classic story here in Uganda of a man that his kids and the wives, he had multiple women ganged up against him. Guess what? For what? for his property. They wanted to take away his property. They chased him out of his own house that he built. That is one. And then two, they decided to take over each and every business that he had established for himself. And then three, deprived him of any health care because the guy at the time was diabetic. And he had to take shelter at a friend's home. It took the intervention of traditional media to publish this story that it drew the attention of the public. That's when the children actually felt a bit of shame and came to the rescue of the dad, but they came to apologize to him. And for things to actually calm down, the guy had to immediately split his property between him and his children and the wife, because other than that, the pattern was going to repeat itself. Women don't like us, you people. You really need to wake up. This is for the men. For the ladies ladies watching this, please, if I'm not saying the truth, please share in the comment section. Please, guys, feel free to use the comment section, guys, and tell me what you think. Use the chat and let's talk. You guys, please, men, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Women do not like us. Now, this gentleman, imagine, after complaining like this, I was very eager to see what the comment section was saying. And you're going to be shocked. So someone said, if she doesn't cook, is it not possible for you to cook? Now flip the script. Had it been a woman that was complaining about a man not taking care of her, the script would have been extremely different. I'm telling you, He said, then someone else said, he said sometimes she doesn't cook, but I will just be lying down and watching African movies. And then someone else says, I don't support him in that area, although I understand exactly what he's going through. So clearly there is divided attention, the divided opinion here. Someone else said, he can do so many things online with his time. He is wasting to complain about his wife. The woman sounds calm and respectful. It's not easy to be a breadwinner and still expect her to be in the kitchen all day. He is not bedridden, for goodness sake. Exactly what I was saying. That in this world as men, that even if you're bedridden, even if you have critical health conditions, the world will still expect you to level up, my brothers and sisters. Actually, my brothers, the world will still expect you to level up. This man says he has spinal cord issues. He has issues to do with his knees. He has issues to do with fluctuating blood pressure. But people actually expect him to still go and grind. That goes to tell you that as a man, if you have nothing to offer, even if you're in critical condition, people will still judge you by the questions of what did he do when he was okay? Why doesn't he go find something to do that will not require him to walk or move around to affect his spinal cord? Why is he over complaining? Why can't he go and cook for himself in the kitchen? What is wrong with him? That is the reality of the men today. The earlier we realize as men that nobody actually loves us except for our parents, except for our mothers or our own. Actually, even our parents do not love us at this point. These people actually also love us for that which we can offer. And I've seen this firsthand. I've seen families whereby kids that give more money, let me give an example. In Uganda here, and many people will testify to this, kids or people that actually come home driving are given much more attention than those that have no cars. That is to say, if you're a child, let's say in a family of 5, and 4 of your brothers have cars that are doing well, you who is the 5th, bro, if you're not doing well, you're not going to get divided attention. Your parents are not going to give you the attention that the rest of the people deserve. So it goes back to the worldview into what do you really have to offer for yourself? And then what are you doing to make yourself level up? You understand? Women do not, let me say, the world over wants a man that is somewhere. If you're not anywhere in this life, my brother, you need to try hard again and try to get yourself somewhere in this at this point in life, because if you're not somebody, that then you're just going to become anybody. We need to. I'm actually specifically doing this particular video from a point of worry, especially for the boy child out there who still thinks that there's still people that love them genuinely. There is no one, even your parents don't like you genuinely. They'll have a reason why they like you. And then if your parents don't love you genuinely, what makes you think that somebody's daughter that you met somewhere and fell in love with will also love you genuinely? They will love you for that which that you bring on the table. If you have nothing to offer on the table, you're really going to be forgotten, dead and gone, like dead and gone. Tira yagala mwavu. There's a common saying in Uganda where they say that omwavu ayagala nyina. Do you know what that means? It means that a poor person is only loved by their mother. Yeah? And there's also a common saying where women say that if you call your husband or your boyfriend and tell him you have a problem, and then he asks you, so what are you going to do about it? They say that you block him. You know why they say that? Because they believe that a man essentially is a solution. Let me say, how should I say? Is a solution bringer or something like that. Or is a man is essentially someone that is solution oriented, that when your wife calls you and they're faced with a problem, you have to be able to offer a solution to that problem. It goes back again to what you have to offer as a man. It goes back to leadership as a man. But before we get to that point, I think we should start, taking certain things seriously about our lives, especially when it comes to leveling up. What are you doing right now to ensure that you position yourself in a comfortable state of mind, that is mentally, financially, and physically? Before you fall ill, do not wait to get ill for you to go to the gym, because our women are going to keep feeding us food day and night. In Uganda, it's common when someone gets married, they get married with a flat stomach, and then a few months into the marriage, they suddenly have a pot belly. And guess what? Your woman will not tell you to go to the gym. In her mind, she thinks she's taking good care of you, but it is within your own power to start realizing that, at one point in time, my wife will actually leave me because I have a pot belly. She'll go to someone that has a six-pack. And that's the reality, people. Women actually cheat for reasons. By the time they begin to tell you, oh man, genda komu gym, it means they are contemplating something that is actually going to trigger off something. It has to start with us, Take yourself to the gym. Add value to yourself before things go out of hand. Invest in assets. I know sometimes when we have families, we really, really focus so much on taking care of other people, only to wake up late when things are really, really bad. We need to start actually putting ourselves first, because you do not know how it feels to know that you've spent 100,000 or 200,000 on a good pair of trousers and it is yours. You do not know what it means to take a risk of taking a leap of faith, you've maybe paid for a small short course and then you've enrolled yourself in it. Do you know how it feels to complete that course at the end of the day? It means it brings a lot of gratitude and pride in yourself. And this is how you add value to yourself, gentlemen. Banange. We need to work, but do not lose ourselves working. Because nobody wants someone who has not leveled up. Today, AI has become AI. Equip yourself with these skills and then place yourself in places that are going to enable you to exploit these skills. Don't die on your family. Do what you have to do as a man in your family, but also remember that there is you. There is something else you need to add on to yourself. And many times, I think this happens very well when we begin to do life audits. Sit down, look at yourself before. Look at how your life was before. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, where was I good at and where are we right now? When you're able to do such a good life audit, my brother, you become honest with yourself, and then you begin to diligently work upon yourself. You will be shocked at the transformation that your life will go through. Nobody wants somebody who has nothing to offer, or they are not anybody. I remember a time I was at and this really hit me so hard. The Ireland was celebrating, I think I think Independence Day, and then the embassy of Uganda, Ireland here in Uganda, held a little bit as a small cocktail at Sheraton. So I went over there, and I think for many of the people that are there, I think they have the impression that when you go there, the circle of people there are basically, diplomats and stuff like that. And also based on the people that I was mingling with, I think there was a gentleman that had, marked me and wanted to come and strike a conversation. So he came and asked me, "Oh, which embassy are you from?" And I was very naive to tell him that no, I don't belong to any embassy. I'm just here to, sort of like do public relations for this particular event. Trust me, the way the guy dropped my hand, he dropped it like a hot potato. And then he left. Do you know what that registered in my mind? People actually mind about who you are in society. But it's only when you experience these things firsthand, that's when you realize that it's very important for us to establish ourselves, work upon ourselves, and become somebody in society. When you are somebody in society, when you become somebody in society, coupled by how you carry yourself along, because sometimes also the people who are somebody in society and their conduct is trash. So when you work upon yourself and become somebody in society, your actions and how you do your things actually will propel people to innately or inevitably treat you a certain way. That is to earn the respect that you deserve as somebody that has become a reputable member of society. And women like men with power. Women like somebody who's somewhere. They feel proud when they say, "Oh man," when during their small meetups, girlfriend meetups, "Oh man, my guy has gone for a meeting with the prime minister." They're having a conference meeting with partners from the US. That's where their pride is. And now if you couple that kind of who you've become, and then you're a nurturing man, you protect your wife, you protect your family, you provide for your family, there is no way that woman will not respect you. There is no way. There is no way that woman will respect you. Also, when you work upon that, now that becomes like a composition or a compound of that which a woman will base off to either stay with you or tolerate you as she looks for another man that she thinks is deserving of her attention, of the person she is, and over time. Guys, let's face these things and really begin to self-examine ourselves. If you're in a relationship and you think that you need to evaluate that relationship, ask yourself, who are you in this relationship? Then look at the person that you're with. Ask yourself, are these people really into me? Or if I didn't have such and such a thing, or if I was not so and so, would these people? Be frank with them sometimes. Ask them these questions. Would you be with me if I was such and such a person? If they're honest with you, or if not, the body language will actually tell you that these people are actually in it just for a ride. Understand? No woman has respect for a broke man. Nobody has respect for a broke man. If you're a broke man, she's just doing you a favor again. You ought to really level up to a point that you are the man in a relationship. If you got that woman girlfriend at point A, keep leveling up, because every time a woman steps out of your home, she's not yours. She's meeting a million other people that are way, way better than you. That's when she'll have to ask herself, or you have to ask yourself, at what point in life am I right now? Because many times we get in relationships, we get into marriage and become complacent. We lose a sense of fashion. We don't comb our hairs. Then you find we begin to get these pot bellies. We lose weight. We gain crazy weight. And then these women begin to lose interest in us, begin to focus somewhere else. You understand? It's on rare occasion that when a woman is leveling up, she also levels up with you. It's on very rare occasions. I don't know what you'll have done to make a woman think about you as she levels up. Take an example of Shamim Malende again. This man was literally below her level. He was nowhere close to her pedigree or the kind of person, because she was she's a member of parliament, she's well studied, well educated. Nothing or little is known about this gentleman. Little is known about this gentleman, I'm telling you guys. Nothing is known about this gentleman. Now, if Shamim Malende genuinely loved this man, she would have leveled up with this man. Because this guy alleges that at some point they used to live in a very cheap house of 300,000 with Shamim Malende. That was at the time when they were all at par. When women level up, they don't level up with us, yo. They leave us down. And that again reminds you that it is your duty as a man to level up no matter what state of life you're in with that woman. No matter what. If she's at A, work hard to be at B. If she's at B, be at C. If she's at D, be at G. And the problem, the mistake we make is that when these women leave us, that's when we remember to level up. And we level up out of bitterness. Let me show her who I am, and then she realizes what kind of man she missed. Nigga, she's not going to miss anything. She's not going to miss anything. The moment she realizes, Toina, there's nothing really to gain from you, on to the next one. She might get back to you maybe when you have something to offer. Many times, of course, fall back if maybe the sex was good. They'll come back a little bit, just for a short while, and then go back to the market and find that man that they think is the real man. And gentlemen, I want to advise, when the woman leaves you and then you level up, don't bring them back. That's the mistake that many of you are actually making, especially these gentlemen, these so-called sissies. Simps. That's another thing that is actually killing us, gentlemen. We are not profound with our words. We cannot stand firmly to say no. Many of us are just weak-ass men. We are not men of our words, man. We can't say things straight up. And now these women have leveled up. What they can do, we can do. I mean, what we can do, they can do. They speak better. They go to better schools. They are getting bigger money. Now, when you're approaching, if you're living in a society of such women, bro, you need to level up 10 times better. Hey, have I leveled up? That's why I'm on live at this time. I'm on live at midnight because I'm trying to level up, bro. Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Nudge me a little bit. Share your thoughts, man. Thanks, guys, for watching. Yeah, this is On The Board Podcast, and my name is Francis Mukule. Today, we are getting into the question whether or not actually do the women really need us, or they're just doing us a favor. And the thing is, if you think otherwise, please share your thoughts in the comment section. I wish YouTube actually could allow us to just have sort of like conference style where you can invite people. Well, we can actually, but we're still working on that kind of interface. But yeah, for now, we're going to be here. Please feel free to, share your thoughts in the comment section. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, when she levels up to 10, please, you have to be at 20. That's the only way you're going to be able to be men of repute in society. Times have gone whereby a woman would automatically kneel down for you simply because you're wearing a pair of pants or you have beards and a deep voice. Times are gone. She's going to ask you, what do you have to bring on the table? Who are you? If she's earning a salary of about maybe 3, 4, 5 million, how much money do you have? Are you bringing the concept of true love, bro? True love, a woman will tell you true love, tereta mataku table. You all to level up, niggas. We need to level up. Women don't really like us like that. If you thought they like us like that, you better think again. You better think again. Even your mom alone doesn't like you like that. He don't like you like that. I'm telling you. You gotta level up, my brothers. I'm not even lying about this thing. Share your thoughts in the comment section and tell me what you think. If you have nothing to offer in a relationship, I'll share a small story with you. The year was 2020, 2024. Yes, I was in a country called China. I'd gone there to do some work, and that was just about it that I wanted to do. But fortunately or unfortunately, I got to meet this beautiful Chinese girl. And how Chinese people actually, or women actually, express their affection is that when they like you, they may not tell you they like you, but how they treat you actually reflects how they feel about you. So many times in China, when you're a visitor, they have these revolving tables, these round tables. So they place food on the tables. And then you keep picking with chopsticks as it goes around like this. So that girl sat exactly next to me. And, I didn't know how to use chopsticks. Yes. And then she, began picking food for me without even asking, picking and putting on my plate. And then she told me, if you do not like it, let me know so that I could pick for you something better. I was like, fine. So to me, at the back of my mind, I was like, okay, probably it's just a gesture of kindness or how they treat visitors out here. But later on, I learned that, she actually likes me like that. So meanwhile, I'd never been with a Chinese woman, so this was the first time and I was excited. She was beautiful, you people. So we move, and then eventually she opens up to me and tells me, you know what, Mr. Francis, I like you. The moment she said, I like you, nemugamba totumeyo yesu tukidde. Kankulage lubolosi jini. So I was like, fine, yeah, let's get it there. Let's get with it. So it was good for a couple of months. I think for like 2, 3, 4 months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Oh, really good. So after some time, I flew back to Uganda. When I flew back to Uganda, it didn't take too long. And then she texts me and tells me, bro, I've broken up with you. I don't love you anymore. I don't want you anymore. I don't like you anymore. From nowhere. And then I ask her, so why is it? She goes like, I found another boyfriend. Just like that. I was shattered. I was shattered. So upon doing my investigation, I came to realize that I was an experiment. She had never had a black man. So she wanted to understand exactly how does it feel to have that African blood in herself. That African cassava getting into her loins. She wanted to know exactly how does it feel. So to her, she actually wanted to explore me. But for me, I was deep in love. Imagine. That's how calculative women are. I'm telling you. Women never get into a situation just for like us men. And I think this is where we have to begin discerning men. I think it's men that mostly make a mistake of getting a relationship out of pity. Oh, she came from a broke family. Oh, she was really doing bad and I decided to help. Women don't do those things. Women actually get into a relationship if they think it's either going to benefit them or put them at a certain point in life. But men, we actually fall in love. I don't understand what is happening with us, men. What is happening with us? I hope that this video actually helps a lot of us, helps a lot of us to, especially men, to make sound decisions. When I read on the internet here, just to understand the psychology of how women do, of how women do their things, I was shocked at what I was revealed. Let me read something for you guys. Just stay with me. Uh, just stay with me. Stay with me on this one. What men can offer. Stay with me on this one. I want to read for you some interesting facts about our women. So, this is what I came across. It said that many women truly love from the heart. I don't believe that. Regardless of wealth or material offerings, they value emotional support, companionship, trust, and stability more than money or possessions. That's a lie. Genuine love shows in sacrifice, loyalty, patience, and staying through both good and bad times. Women today will not. Let's go down and explore this now. But it says that despite the fact that there's actually genuine love in women, women love a balance. And this balance comes in love. This balance comes in a way that a woman may genuinely love a man, but she also wants to feel safe, supported, and valued. Then they give a disclaimer that that doesn't always mean material things. It could mean emotional support, respect, or effort. It goes further to say, today, many women are financially independent, so what they want offered may not necessarily be money. It might be emotional maturity, respect, and stuff like that. That is what. Let's break down what these people say. They say that women love genuinely, but they need support, to feel valued, and safety. That is security. This does not, according to what I have read, it says that it doesn't really border along the lines of materialism, but basically in one or another, the way you support them emotionally, with security, and also how you value them. But I think it again goes back to what I said. What do you have to offer in a relationship as a man? What do you have to offer? Kiki ky'oleeta ku table. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but you have to have something to bring on the table. If you have nothing to offer to a woman, at least be a comedian. At least try to make her laugh. Be that D cooler. That way, you can bring some humor in her life. If she's a breadwinner in the relationship, at least by being humorous, you're able to shine a light in her long days and stuff like that. But you cannot be in a relationship with a woman and there's literally nothing you're offering them, as a man in the relationship. But it still goes back to what I said. If a woman is making money, more money than you, or richer than you have to come in. The aspect of leadership must be very profound or pronounced in the relationship, because she needs to feel that despite the fact that you don't have the money, there is something that comes as in form of consistency, respect, and effort. Now, let's talk about consistency. Consistency is putting up a system in place that Systems at work in a home. That is one. As a man, you put systems at work in the home. How? Ensure that things that are within the reach of your finances are done diligently. Do not be broke, but also be poor at doing the small things that are easy for you, that you could have done easily. For example, paying small bills. You have to be consistent in that regard. Secondly, be consistent. If your sex game is bad, please, and you don't have money in the relationship, find ways of fixing yourself so that you're consistent. Otherwise, they're going to chase you away. Thirdly, consistency. How consistent are you working upon yourself? The video that we just watched earlier on, the woman was saying, you just sleep in the house, there's nothing you do, but you keep complaining. It goes back to the question of what are you consistent with? What are you consistent with? What the hell are you consistent with? What are you consistent with? What are you consistent with? That's the question. Are you consistent with laziness? Are you consistent with working upon yourself? Are you consistent being a good father to your children? Are you consistent being a good husband? Because there's one thing being in a marriage, but not being a good husband is also possible. It's not automatic that when you're in marriage and you're called husband and wife, you automatically become a good husband. So ask yourself, if your wife actually has more money than you in a relationship, what are you consistently bringing on the table despite your financial crippledness, if at all that English word exists? Secondly, respect. You ought to respect your wife whether you like it or not. Omukazi oyina omuwaamu ekitiibwa, oyina omuwa ekitiibwa, but respect that does not come from a point of desperation. Because there are men that understand that, oh, my wife has more money than I do, so I'm going to be carrying her bag along. You're going to be stooping too low for her to do things that are disgraceful, just so either you could get some favors from her or you could appear to be a loyal person. If you're offering respect, offer it in a way that is deserving to her, but also a way that is not humiliating to you as a person. That's very, very important, because some men actually experience a dire level of inferiority complex, whereby because their women are better than them, they innately become inferior in the eyes of their women. So they become less confident, they become extremely timid, they cannot express themselves. Everything the woman says in a home goes. But also, you need to work hard to ensure that these things do not get into your head, because some men actually suddenly become jealous of the woman or begin to treat a woman badly simply because the woman is doing better than them. That is bad. That's a bad man. That's a jealousy mind. You need to sit down and educate yourself. Come to the terms of, you know what, my wife is better than me. I need to sit down, relax, and know my lane and how to conduct myself. For you to show authority in the home or leadership in the home as a man, you don't have to shout a lot. You don't have to use force, or you have to use repressive means. But whoever is on, I really big up on. I really thank you for the support you've stayed on to hear. Please just say hi in the comment section so I could know who you are. I really appreciate you staying on here, and the rest of you people that have really come on to support us here. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So I'm saying you need to know where your limits are. If you know that you're limited in terms of finance and your wife is actually up there in terms of finance, understand how you're going to give respect to her without necessarily violating yourself, but also coming off as desperate. But also, you need to know how to exercise genuine gratitude to your wife, like being genuinely happy for your wife wherever she is, because there are men that actually will become jealous because the woman makes more money than them, and then they want to use force to exert authority. That's the bad mind. Now, thirdly, effort. you don't really have to be the best at something. You know what I mean? Let's say your wife has a six-figure salary. Maybe yours is around maybe three, four, five, not three, but maybe four-figure salary. Effort means that you are actually working tirelessly to level up on yourself. At least Olaganti, you're not comfortable with where you're at. So the effort you put in getting maybe small upgrades in your courses, basically working extra hours to make sure that you get an extra dime, putting in that overtime, but also not for playing your role as a husband, despite the fact that you have this other thing that you have running about, so that the woman or your wife is able to see that actually this man, despite the fact that right now he's not doing well, in a few years time to come is going to be a very serious man in society. That makes women happy. That is what effort does in a relationship. That's why men, actually in Uganda here, a man will wake up early in the morning and just dress up smartly, leave home, even when they know that they have nothing to do in town, or even when they know their job, they just want to give the impression that there's something going on. It goes back to what I said earlier on. No matter the situation that you're in as a man, you have to bring something on the table. That's when you're going to be valid. Or at least you have to seem like you're doing something about it. That's why men in Uganda here will dress up smartly in the morning and just go loiter around Kampala, doing nothing, because they want to sell the impression that, you know what, daddy has gone to work. He would rather come back home and tell his wife, you know what, it's been tough in town, man. There's no work, there's no work. At least, but the woman will know at the back of her mind that, hey, man, at least he's putting in some effort. He woke up in the morning, tried to go and find something to do. So that way she also get a push to go and look for things. And take care of the things that are not being taken care of in the home at that point in time. But until when, to what extent can women go to support the family as you level up as a man? To what extent? You need to ask yourself that question. And that brings in the aspect of us as men preparing for rainy days, because like it or not, there are going to be those rainy days. No matter what it is that we have going on as men, we need to be able to prepare for rainy days for ourselves, but also for our families. For ourselves, I mean to say, I know people that have understood that life is not going to be, their health, is not going to be green all the time forever. There are going to come points in life whereby you have a health care, you have a health need, you're sick. Now, such times it's important for us to prepare for such time. Either you can go buy insurance, that is one, or alternatively we can go and get some money saved up somewhere. That is also another way of us doing it, of preparing for rainy days. But also for our family, we can ensure that we put things in place that will guarantee the economic stability of our family members and our people during times when we are crippled, or times when we are not able to be the men that we were before we became husbands and fathers to our children. So going back to the question, do women love us, or they're just doing us a favor? The truth is, they don't love us. They don't love us. If you just joined, we are having a small conversation of how the psychology of women works when it comes to relationships. And we are saying that women do not love us for who we are, do not love us genuinely, but they basically love us for that which we bring on the table. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality. What are you bringing on the table? The moment you become broke, or the moment you stop to provide as you used to provide, she'll move on to the next one. And sometimes I think it's also our fault, because why should you be in position? Why shouldn't you be in position to provide for your woman the way you used to provide for her? Why? It's because many times when we meet these women in early stages of dating, we want to impress too much. Yeah, you're taking her to expensive restaurants, you're buying her expensive gifts, you're doing all these kinds of things just to impress her. And then when she gets into the picture of marriage or courtship and whatever, you level down. What the hell? What happened to the Sheraton Hotel, dinner? What happened to the road trips we used to do to Ginger? What happened to these fancy dinners? What happened to the fancy gifts, brother? Now reality checks in, and then you begin to realize, oh, I fucked up. I should have showed her the means within which I can operate instead of shooting beyond my means. That's where the problem comes. I think that's why many women are actually leaving men, because these men sell them a lie of a lifestyle or things they can do for them, and then only to end up noticing that this guy was actually just a scam or something, was lying. So yeah, men, if we really need to keep leveling up or be the provider that we are supposed to be, we need to set the record straight from the beginning. Have a threshold of how much money you're actually capable of putting on table, or how much money you're able to disperse at certain certain points in time of either dating or courting. It doesn't really make any sense for you to spend thousands and thousands of money during dating stage, and then you cannot sustain the relationship that you want to build for a period of 10-20 years. I think we need to focus on longevity. But it goes back to, what goal do you have with these people? Because I've known people that end up in these kinds of arrangements simply because they just want to hit and run. And then they have to, impress quickly, do their thing and move. But unfortunately for them, in the process of trying to do their thing and run, they terribly fall in love and end up intertwined in this relation, in what we call, how do you call it? It was an entanglement. And then suddenly you cannot maintain the lady as you used to do in the dating stage. So that's when you begin to, they ask you questions such as, what happened, baby? Who is Amanda? And then before you know it, they leave you, simply because you're no longer offering that which you promised or you showed, to offer back in the day when you're in the dating stage. So yeah, the point is, what do you bring on the table as a man? That's the most important thing as women ask. If you have nothing to offer, they can't even do you a favor to be with you. So, like I said earlier, those that are just joining in, as you've seen in the topic, do women like us genuinely, or they're just doing us a favor? We are saying over here that women are actually just doing us a favor, but they're doing us a favor based on that which we bring on the table. If we don't really have anything to bring on the table, they can't even do that favor. That's funny. All right, guys. The comment section. Only see Elsa Tesfamariam. Alpha Testamariam, thank you so much for being here. Anyone else out there, please, in case you're just joining in, please share your thoughts. We are about to get the hell out of here, but would be really interesting for you to share your thoughts on what you think about what we've shared here. We basically saying that no woman wants a man who has nothing to offer, really. And it's our duty as men to actually try to level up as much as we can to be, not only for women, although of course, in case you didn't know, God created men to actually to be at service for women. I have a friend who calls it's called the service industry for our females. So no woman actually wants a man who's not somewhere or has nothing really to offer. You may have your muscles and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, someone needs to eat. So what I'm saying here is that let's level up as men, for not only for women but for ourselves. It feels so good when you're in position to just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I need to go and have a little staycation in Bujagali or some lodge in Kampala or outside of Kampala, drive off just for you. That only happens when you've leveled up. And here, when you've come to terms that, you know what, I need to level up at this point. That's the only way you're going to be able to be done a favor for by a woman or wherever it is. It's all about what we offer on the table, really, for us men. It doesn't matter whether it's your mother, it's your father, it's what you bring on the table, especially for men. And today that it has even become worse that women are some women are actually extremely doing so well better than men. And I've seen it in my village. I have some aunties that come home and they come home big. They come with big cars, they come with gifts for the grandmother. And then if you're a man in that instance, it only reminds you that, you know what, bro, you need to pull up your socks, because at the end of the day, you have to be on top. We have no option but to level up and be on top of our game. Only then shall we get the respect that we deserve or earn the respect that we need, as men in society. Today, respect is earned. You don't just be a man with a beard or, be tall and wear a pair of pants and expect to be respected. What are you bringing onto the table? Who the hell are you in society? And how are you conducting yourself? So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you just joined in, please, thank you so much for joining on the Board Podcast Live. My name is Francis here, and today we're sharing on, the psychology of how women actually think in relationships. And it's been established that women actually have to get something of course, have to have something they feel like they're going to gain from a relationship. Meanwhile, men might also have a similar notion, but it's not as ruthless as it would be for women, because especially for women today, if they really have nothing to offer, they're actually not going to give you the attention that you want. They might sit there with you or be there with you, but they will actually find that one person that they think entirely deserves the attention. Let me give you an example. Even back in the day, the things used to happen. My grandfather, according to my grandmother, may God rest her soul, he was a driver. He was a truck driver and used to drive along between Congo and Kenya. But she says the happiest of times that she used to experience was when my grandfather came back with a lot of gifts for her. You see, she said whenever my grandfather would come back with a lot of gifts for her, she would be so happy. That day she would prepare for him the best meal. And probably even the other meal would be the best that particular night. You know what I mean? So it goes back to, what do you offer? Actually, I think I want to think about it this way. In a relationship, men, we are the drivers in a relationship or marriage, yes? But then, what keeps the engine running is that which we bring on the table. Mostly it is respect, effort, and emotional support, but most importantly, security, which is manifested through money. How much money do you got? Or innocent and make a question of money is really very important. I don't know what you guys think in the comment section. Yeah, so I've really tried to really go deep into this conversation. I don't know what you guys think. Please, I do not know why you really don't want to share your thoughts, because you're making me feel like I'm the only one that has thoughts to share in this regard. But regardless of whatever it is, I really thank you guys for coming on here to, give some time and listen to this beautiful word that I'm telling you. For any man out there that really thinks little or nothing about yourself, it's never late. I'll really tell you this. It's never late for you to level up, because all you need to do is to place yourself in places that will enable you to bring whatever dream it is to life. I'm telling you, please, you need to push yourself an extra mile, because you're not going to fold your hands and find help. Society is going to mock you. Even your own wife will mock you. Even your own children will mock you. If you're not anybody in society, if you're not somebody, if there's nothing you can bring on the table, you're going to become a laughing stock in society, my brother. So I'm really beseeching and asking you guys, please, it's never late for you to level up. And nothing anybody should tell you should bring you down. If you're looking at the age factor, do not be disappointed by your age factor. As long as you still can breathe, you can use your head to get somewhere or get to a certain point in life, do that. Let heartbreak not break you down, because I'm telling you, the moment a woman breaks up with you right now, or anybody, even a man, they really have a lot of choices to make, because your tears or whatever worries that you're going to be able to that you're putting out there or crying about do not really matter with them, because by the time someone decides to walk out of your life, it means they don't really give a fuck about whatever it is that you're saying or crying about. So a heartbreak is unfortunate, but a heartbreak actually should be like, how should I say, a jump start for you to realize how much it is you need to begin to love yourself, how much it is you need to invest in yourself, how much it is you need to love yourself, but how much it is you need to put into yourself, most importantly, to ensure that you level up, just not for society, but just for you, because you don't know how it feels to be able to be financially stable, to be able to eat whatever you want, to be able to dress well, to be able to smell well with effortlessly. That comes with the concept of self-love, leveling up, and understanding that these daughters of Adam or these daughters of Eve, really, they don't really love us when we don't have nothing to offer them. It's only when we have something to offer that's when they can do us a favor to at least fall in love with us or be with us at least. You understand? So don't play yourself, bro. Don't play yourself, or else, like Very Dark Man says, you're gonna learn the hard way. Until we meet again, thanks guys for being here. See you again.